Hi, Sophie. Are you there?
Here
Hi.
I am. Hi, hi.
Happy New Year.
Oh, same to you. Same to you.
You.
Sorry about the confusion. I just didn't know if you ever saw my message about today. That's all.
Yeah. So I saw you saw my message. So maybe some confusion. Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So how was your New Year, Christmas, everything?
Yeah, it was good. Uh New Year's Eve where we went to the little tavern down the road and listened to country music. The music was very good like we expected. They're a
Mm,
local, they're from here, even like I said, I think I told you they were born in Ohio, but they came to West Virginia when they were small. So they're a local crowd. Everybody knew them, and they knew lots of people
mm,
that were sitting, listening, and dancing.
mm,
So it was fun. We didn't stay till midnight. We left about 11:15. So we left before it got crazy, too
mm.
crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fun. Christmas with the kids. I haven't talked to you since Christmas even, huh? Jeez.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Christmas was good. I think Rafe and Rebecca opened their presents in the morning. I think that we got up about 7:30 and they were here till about 1:30, and then their mom came and picked them up and they went to her house with her parents until dinner, through dinner, and they came back about 9 o'clock at night. So it was fun because I hadn't opened presents in the morning with anybody for years and years,
Okay.
so yeah, it was a nice experience. It was fun. And then Austin and I made dinner together that night,
Yeah.
for just the two of us because they were gone. The kids were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. It was the last couple weeks since I talked to you have been pretty low key, really. Nothing out of the ordinary has gone on.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. How about for you?
So we don't much celebrate the Christmas, of course, because the
Yeah.
church people go to the church, and I there is a church nearby to our office. So every day, I don't know till how long it will go, but every day I hear some nice music. Uh,
Hmm.
so I can't make out what which language is that. Not English, not any other language that I know, but
Uh-huh.
sounds very good, very soothing uh,
Nice.
in the morning. And
Yeah.
yes, so we were given to know that that church remains closed except for Sundays, but now every day it is open. I don't know how long. So whatever time, the music is good, but yes.
Yeah.
And after that, New Year celebration at office, and here everybody says Happy New Year to everybody, and lot of celebration, of course, goes on to 31st night till it is
Hmm.
New Year. New Year is a holiday, but we didn't have holiday today because we had a office gathering at office. So that was it. Yeah. And what else? Yes, that's it. And
Did your daughters, did the girls celebrate anywhere?
the younger one stays with me, so she went out on 30th night. So
Okay.
mm, uh, for some time, as she came back uh, before midnight.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Cool. Mo- uh, Most people now, this is what happens probably. Well, I don't know how you guys get into decorations, but here, the clubs the club in town, the main, it's called Alderson Main Street, put up all the decorations around town. So along with everybody taking stuff down in their houses,
Yeah.
the town is now taking all the lights down and putting them all away, and um, yeah, the kids, when the kids come over this weekend, uh, Austin and the two of them are gonna put the stuff in boxes, and then I'll take it outside to the shed and store it. So everybody's winding down, putting stuff away, deciding what they're going to be doing in the next couple weeks.
Mm.
Um, the planning commission in town had a meeting Thursday. That was the first. Yeah, Thursday. That was the first meeting of the new year for any of the governmental things in town. I don't know that the senior center has been open either. I'm not sure. I didn't check that out, but I went to the planning commission meeting. It was in the afternoon, and they're talking about there's some new zoning issues that
Oh.
they're passing. So that's what their whole meeting was about. And what how many besides your house, how many buildings, little accessory buildings you can have on your property, and how big they can be, how many square footage. Nobody can live in them, so they're just trying to set some guidelines. And oh, Alderson Main Street is
Mm.
the group in town that supports the businesses and all the festivals, and like I said, puts up the decorations. So I got nominated to be the vice president of this group.
Wow.
um yeah, I mean, i i was I was not surprised that my friend, who is president of the planning commission, she's from my own hometown, and we found that out this year. Anyway, she asked me if I would be willing to serve as vice president, because I guess she's on the nominating committee. And I said, I told them I was going to be gone for a while in May,
Mm.
going to Scotland, and she said that's okay. I know I was very active in helping on different things this year. I don't even know why the vice president spot became empty. I'm not exactly sure who stepped down or what happened. But anyway, I just said, I'd be happy to do it as long as it's okay that they know I'm going to be gone for part of the while. So it's a helping position. I'll probably help the president if he needs it for
Mm.
anything. But yeah, so it's the first thing like that I've been asked to do in town, and
Yeah.
that's okay. That's we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
respectable, I think. That is something to celebrate about.
yeah, I mean, I'm honored to have them ask me, and I know it's because I headed up a couple things for kids for the last couple festivals, and one of the things is if I volunteer to do something like you, I show up to do it. I don't say I'm going to do it and then I don't do it. So
Mm.
I think that didn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, separate subject now. Thank you for all your writing. You really got into it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You
you
just became a novelist.
uh, so you know uh, did I tell you uh, I loved writing since a child. Uh,
Yeah,
I maintained my diaries, and it was not about what is happening, it is what is going on inside my mind also at that time.
yeah,
So uh, that is why so many other things also came up when I wrote about you, whatever you said and you didn't say. But
sure.
still, whatever you say or don't say, it doesn't matter, because once you start thinking, all those things will come to you, this way, that way, today or tomorrow, somehow.
Right.
So that has been my experience. So whenever something comes to my mind, I just put it down. I don't cut anything away. Right?
Okay.
So um, sometimes what happens, it is automatic. Like mm, I don't even realize it as I have written down something.
Yeah.
It is not out of what I think. It comes automatically, even words. Uh,
Okay.
so when you start writing and you allow yourself to be on the flow, mm, only only initially you make an effort to write, and then things start coming up.
Yeah.
So it is
I
not
think
a big thing. Yeah.
um I only made any comments. I only made comments when something, was totally different than I thought, than my belief about something, because I didn't know. I think it's a very interesting approach that we're doing this together and that things are merging. I think that's very interesting. And without knowing that, you just put down stuff that comes to you, then that's sometimes where I made some comments. But the only time I made any comment, like, I corrected my teacher's name, and when it came to my mom and my dad, and I said, they you made them sound very idealistic. I couldn't help but tell you a little bit more about them, because they really, um yeah, they had more struggles. They had more struggles than what you had on paper, and so I had to say a little bit more about that. But I like the approach of what you're taking. Um, I think it's very interesting to. It feels it feels like what you just said, when, um, sooner or later, even if I didn't think something, sooner or later, I eventually will. It will come up. What you said, even if I wasn't the person that said it. So I think it's a very interesting approach, since we're kind of merging the two of us.
Yes.
We're merging our thoughts and our differences. So I'm cool with it. Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, so that also helped. Yesterday, very interestingly, I just saw one reel where you can see that reel also, that video also in my Facebook today.
Okay.
I believe, that this person was a TEDx speaker, and he was saying that everybody says that we should work for being a better person tomorrow,
Hmm.
later, always. So why do we say that? Do we not accept ourselves? Then the question comes, no? If we are accepting ourselves, then why do you think there is a need to be a better person tomorrow? If we
Yeah.
accept ourselves wholeheartedly, so there
Good
is a
question.
point. Yeah, yeah. And then he is saying that I have been, whatever negativity you can imagine, all those things are there within me. And I accept that wholeheartedly. So radical
Mm.
acceptance, you're saying. So, that put lot of churning inside me. That do we not hide um, ourselves from us in the first place? We don't see uh, what is there, how we are. We always think, we always portray ourselves to be nice, uh, and I think that is the way we think that self love is. So there is a lot of question that is going on. What is self love then? If we say we love each other, me, I hardly, just 20% of me says I love you. There is 80% of me which I don't like. So that is a truth, and it was zero beforehand. So maybe that is where, as I am speaking to you, and it is occurring to me that that is where one needs to work to be a better person. Better person means loving myself more.
Yeah,
Uh,
to start. That's where you start.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that is what we should be working on. Um, and then it is not about having a new skill or external nothing, just
Yeah, I get.
internal,
Yeah.
lot of internal work. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So that makes, if I'm coaching, then that makes a lot of difference. I don't have to tell anything external to anybody, whoever I am coaching.
Yeah.
um, and only I can help in the internal thing, and that is the struggle actually I am observing in people. That always has been my observation, that if people can get over their struggles, internal struggles, they are well equipped to be better person,
And
accepting
adapt
themselves.
and be able to be in the world in a different way.
Yeah, yeah.
What you're saying, what you're saying has so been in my face for the last couple months, and uh very obviously since I talked to you
Hmm.
last. um but I'm starting to, um it's not the first time, but I'm starting to be more okay with knowing that I can't do anything about how the other person looks at the world or looks at themselves. Um, the one of the most profound things I noticed, I got invited to dinner on New Year's Day to the home of a woman that I sing with in the choir at the Baptist church. I
Yeah.
told them I would sing through December and then I would stop. I hate to stop because I like singing, but I don't like singing some of the words I sing. So anyway, I went to Shirley's house for dinner, and um, afterwards, there were just four of us, four women, and after we ate, uh, I had brought these little boxes, just boxes I was getting ready to throw away,
Yeah.
and brought pen and paper, and I invited everybody to write a letter to themselves,
Mm.
um, just a loving letter to themselves, and
Oh.
to put it in that box. And when they felt bad, they would take it out and read it. My intention is that we not get our own letters. It was like, you were going to put your letter in a box, and we'd swish them around, and you would get someone else's. Well, two of us got our own letters, which was fine. That was okay. In the process of Shirley talking to her sister, who was 89 and who had didn't hear very well, she
Mm.
said to Lillian,
Mm.
write a letter to yourself, and and be kind and say loving things to yourself. And here's the kicker. She said, even though you don't deserve it, and none of us deserve it. And I just, everything in me, because Shirley is one of the nicest people you can meet. Her husband is in the Philippines now doing missionary work,
Mm.
but, and not but, and she, she just believes that, the dogma that we aren't supposed to deserve all the stuff. We're just supposed to be grateful that Jesus died on the cross, and we have all these sins and yada yada. And so I thought, oh, here I am on the first day of the new year listening to one of my good friends say say those things. So I didn't say anything. I just let it go. I just let it go. And then I don't listen to the news. So, but when I get my emails, the headings all say all the crummy stuff that's going on, and beware of this and beware of that. But I did listen to Greg Braden being interviewed by Alex Ferrari on Next Level Soul, and I listened to Dolores Cannon. She
Hmm.
was talking about her books and the evolution of the new earth and all that kind of stuff. And I recognized a couple things that I really, really think differently than most people down here. And if I didn't have people like you to talk to, I would really burst, because you gotta talk to people about things like this when there's so much going on in the world, and you just got to. I have to. I'll just speak for me.
Yeah.
And so yesterday I went to see a girlfriend, and I've she's the one who has us all for dinner on Sundays. And the main group of people I hang with all go to her house usually on Sundays. And she loves to complain. She and her husband went back to, and she's a good person too. They both are. They're generous. They'll help somebody, at the drop of a hat, or even before you ask. And they are so entrenched into these Jewish people are moving in, and the apocalypse is coming. They are so entrenched in that I stopped going on Sundays for a while, because Dwight is very politically oriented. They have nothing nice to say about anything other than Donald Trump. And they blame Joe Biden for every bad thing in the world. And so I just sat for Debbie yesterday for a couple hours,
Hmm.
and she started, and uh, I was glad that I saw her for the quick the fun zaps that we got to talk about.
Hmm.
Um, but it was again an example of I either have to do what I told you and you wrote about, which is just let it slough off me, or find a way to be with her in just limited time frames. And because I have expressed myself, and before saying, I told them that I did tell them last Sunday, I believe that if everybody handled their own little square
Hmm.
and took care of our own business, the world would be a different place. And I actually heard Debbie repeat that yesterday when I was sitting with her.
Hmm.
So something, I don't know if it was because I said it, but she actually said that, and I was surprised to hear her say it. And so I know I'm down here for a reason, to just be Sophie without standing on a soapbox. So just like you and I are merging, these people and I are, in a sense, merging too,
Yeah.
um, by learning to be tolerant, and learning that you can have friends who think differently than you. But I'm telling you, it's a shock. This is the best way to say it. It is a shock to every nerve in my body when I start hearing what Shirley said, and when I start hearing what Debbie said. It all of my nerve endings go for a minute, until I just can go, that's okay, Soph. You don't have to react. You don't have to say anything. Not your job to teach them. Only your job to be the most loving and kindest and best person you can be. And then just that's all you can do.
Mhm.
So uh Yeah. So along with saying it's been a low key 2 weeks, there have been, I have done a lot of stuff that I need to tell you about at some point, and but those are the two in my face experiences, from the last couple days.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's exactly what you're talking about, starting right here and
Mm.
figuring out if we're still thinking we're not worthy, where does that come from and what can I do to stop that?
Yeah. Mm. Yes, yes.
So, your turn.
Yeah. Whereas, if this discussion we didn't plan, I didn't think that I'll hear that particular thing yesterday, and it will kind of turn myself so much, and that you also had similar kind of experiences. Again, as I say,
You went
synchronicity and
uh-huh.
also surprise that this needs to be thought about and thought about more. So,
I think my Zoom account is only set up on 40 minutes. That's why it goes away all the time. But
no,
so I have to rejoin. I don't know why it does that, but I have to rejoin every time I talk to you.
no, no, no. Uh, uh, because I have sent that link,
Yeah.
so you will not have that problem. But maybe some internet issue at your end.
Oh, could be. Yeah, that could be. Okay,
Before
so
that,
start saying, you got to tell me everything you just said again.
okay, okay.
Sorry.
No issue, no issue. So I was saying, I just happened to listen to that TED talk, that person was saying, just by chance, and similar things also happening with you. And you were thinking, actually, I was thinking that you have been experiencing a lot during this time. Somehow it came to my mind that there will be a lot of stories, lot of things would have happened, about which you'll tell me, and this thing that uh, as I told you, I only love myself 20%, and before this year or 2 years back, it was zero almost. I didn't like myself that much, and when I asked myself, where do I love myself, then it started registering within me that I should start working on myself as well, start loving myself, whatever is there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. uh, so so it was a similar thing happened yesterday. Like all the time, I also tell you should be, you, me, everybody should be a better person all the time. So why better person? Uh, because somewhere inside we think that we are not enough. We need to improve on something, something, something all the time.
Yeah.
and that feeling of not 100%. So that doesn't help. If we are coming from that kind of mindset, um we are attracting more of uh, inadequate things in life. I think
Mm.
so. So the problem lies within rather than anything external. Anything external. So in the beginning of year, everybody says resolution, and what is your resolution this time? I never do any resolution, but this time I ask myself, if I do one resolution, what would that be?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have any answer to that. I was very confused. All when you ask me straight questions, it takes me to somewhere inside. I cannot find that answer right at that moment. Then after some time, it comes to me, and it doesn't come to me that straight, like from within. It comes to me from circumstances, like that TED talk that I heard yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is why I look at these hints. And so because of that, if I have to learn something, then you have to undergo a lot of things, because we are to speak. Are you getting it? What I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So people, because I look for signs in our conversation, and you are the only person I am speaking to or have planned to speak to, then
Yeah.
that sign would come from you only, or else from the audios. As I told you, it always surprises me every day with something or
I
other.
think don't you think that you get automatic downloads from source? It's not just from me, it or from you. I mean, you you 24/7 are in the atmosphere of source. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
those come that's it comes from there too.
yeah, from everywhere. Whoever I
Yeah.
am talking to, listening to, I'll get
Yeah.
those things from everywhere. But somehow I also thought, because we discuss in the same line, that is why I thought there will be a lot of experiences in between. Because for you, that is a
Mhm.
spiritual month also. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah. So yes, yes,
You know what? What helped me the most, um, what helped me the most to feel the best and better about myself is the recognition of how many times I have heard from the Unity people and from Mary Morrissey and wherever I hear it. Oh, the hemisync, those hemisync videos on YouTube, that we are more than our, um, we're more than our physical body, and uh, if we're a piece of spirit or source or divinity, whatever you want to call that, if we're a piece of that, that means we're all knowing, all powerful, and always everywhere.
yeah,
So I'm really, really, I would say at least 80% of my cells operate in accepting that and loving that fact. And that's what's taking me to that is what I think is enabling me to be with all of the things that I see differently, but is allowing me to just be with it. It's that 80% of of acceptance that, yeah, I am a piece of, and I'm just an energetic piece. I'm not a physical piece. I'm an energetic piece of, an 80% energetic piece of spirit. So the more I feel that, the more I take that in however this humanness can, the better off I am.
Yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, that's I even rewrote spurred on by a couple months ago, a bunch of us sitting at the senior center, and we had this woman talk to us about different things that she talks on for seniors. And one of them was getting your will in order and all that kind of stuff. And so I had mine written out, but you have to notarize it. If you do it yourself, you have to have it notarized and witnessed by two people.
Mm.
So I have it in my special papers, and Austin knows where it is. But
Mm.
I needed to redo it because it wasn't notarized. So when I redid it, um, this is the first time I've talked to anybody about this. Years ago, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, I bought a package for a policy for my cremation.
Mm. Mm.
But in and since my beliefs are shifting, I don't even want to be cremated because I that 80% of me believes that in the next half of my life, I first of all believe that all of my illnesses I'm working on curing, regardless of the fact that I've been on this planet for 75 years. My intention is to be here another 70 years. So, knowing that, I say to myself, okay, my body isn't even going to be around. I'll be in a different location. My
Mm.
body isn't even going to be around to cremate because I truly believe that in the next X amount of years, you and I are both going to have an opportunity to choose to
Yeah.
take ourselves to a new dimension.
Right.
And I think that's why um, I put this in writing, and I gave both of my kids a copy. The first thing I said under the will is my body is not going to be available for cremation, so don't worry about it. And then I go on from there.
Mm.
And I thought, I'm going to have to explain this to them, or maybe they don't care. Maybe they understand that mom's working in other dimensions, or she's always been doing that and she's serious about it now. Because I've told Austin, I remember telling him I was just going to walk off into the woods and I'll just be gone. Well, that I'm getting more clarity with that. I'm going to have the opportunity to choose at any given point when I decide that it's time. I really, really believe that I'm going to have an opportunity to choose to go somewhere else. And I think that's what this new earth conversation is all about. But I can't say this to too many people, certainly down here, because they're just not ready. They're not, I'm not ready to have that conversation with a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about them. It's about me. It's about me not being ready because I'll think I have to rationalize it. And then, I may find some people that eventually I can have the conversation with, but I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about that right now.
Mm. Mm. People will start asking questions for we won't have
Oh, your
more.
voice, go ahead. Your voice is, broken up.
Yeah. Okay. So I
Wait a
was
minute.
saying,
There, that's good. That's good. Now I can hear you.
that they will ask questions then for which there are no answers as yet. Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Right. Right. And it's all wrapped up. I think it's all wrapped up in seeing the world and all the stuff that's going on now in a neutral way without making a judgment about it being good or bad, whether we're talking about AI, whether we're talking about um, the the way we're taking care of the earth. I think in some way that we can't put words to it yet, it's it's got to all be connected, right? I just don't have all the language yet. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't matter to me that I don't have the language. The only thing that matters to me are my beliefs, and if I can live my everyday life supporting those beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I was just writing down, so it helps me.
oh, okay. I wondered what you were doing. Yeah, I think that's the first time that I had enough clarity to even speak it like I did to
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
but yeah, all that matters is what I believe, and haven't we've been saying that forever. If you think you're going to go to hell, you are. If you think you're going to go to heaven, you are.
Yeah.
You know, it's just more of the same. It's just more of the same. We're we're being given lots of tools to expand our consciousness, and as we do that, along with that consciousness comes more questions and more answers.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. No. So these questions are important, to. But if we ask only ourselves, questions of others only will be just curiosity. It is not about seeking. When
yeah,
we ask questions, and look for answers, that is kind of seeking. But answer to something which raises curiosity, you cannot entertain all the time.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, so yeah, people will interpret in their own way. Um, they might be okay with that, but it kind of disturbs your thought process also. So maybe
yeah,
that is why we need to keep to ourselves for some time before.
yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree. The other day I watched. I think this was a couple years old. Deepak Chopra and Sadhguru were sitting on the same stage
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
with a woman. Did you see that? Have you seen that? I
yeah,
think it
yeah,
was 2015. I hadn't seen it before, but it was interesting to listen to them together.
yeah. So uh, what was it for you?
Um, I probably have listened to Sadhguru more recently than I have listened to Deepak Chopra, but I it was very interesting to listen to both of them. I um, he talked from a lot more scientific aspect than I thought he would. I mean, I didn't have any expectations. I just heard him. What I heard come from him sounded more scientific than I think of him. And from Sadhguru, his his was he didn't get a chance to be as silly, as he normally is. He wasn't as flippant with a lot of his answers as he normally is. He was more serious, if you consider him being serious. But it was still, it was still worth listening to. Um, a lot of it was, um, I thought a lot of it was a little more woo woo, a little more highbrow than it was a little more, yeah, it was a little more difficult to translate some of what they were saying because I think it was a pretty highbrow conversation. I don't know if that was led by who they were talking to. Maybe that was a room full of professors instead of a room full of college kids or 20-year-olds. So I took from it what I could take from it, and I went on from there. But I still like both of them.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their audience was, their audience appeared to be grown up, not grown ups. I say grown ups, to be people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. It was an older audience. That's what I'm saying. It was an older audience as opposed to young kids when Sadhguru seems to be more humorous. They just seem to be more serious. But that's okay. That was all right. I was still glad. I was still glad that I saw them together. Um, Part of me wants to search out some of Dolores Cannon's books. She trained herself to be um, a past life regressionist, and she developed her own method in doing that. And then I heard somebody else. Then I heard somebody else say, I truly do believe this. She said, it's not about recognizing your past lives anymore. It's like, that's not important. And I so agree with that, because I have been, not every day, but I have been making a conscious effort to go into the past lives where my friend Dean is involved and continue to block him out, so that he's not in any of them, in any he that it was just about me. And there was some shift that I recognized when I was doing that, and I was going to tell you. It'll come back to me. um but it's like an eraser. I'm getting better at just making it about me, so that I know. Oh, here's what it was. It wasn't so much of me. Oh, here it is. Now that I'm getting to the point of being able to recognize that this all could be going on at the same time. There's no past, there's no future, there's no present. It's just all simultaneous. When I look at those past lives, I can take them from being a past life, bringing them into the present, taking anybody out of there taking anybody else away, and reforming. I've been doing it visually. So instead of seeing myself on a star point over here and somebody over here eons away, I just made this star point be more pointed, and me at the top of it. And then I looked at what why was I there, and what does that visualization mean to me? And in every case, it is. And then the that one had to do more with focusing on me. And then the one where I was in Egypt with my mom, that turned into, I wasn't there to sacrifice myself with her. It turned into, oh, your mom asked you to be with her and you said yes, and how nice that was. It was, yeah, yeah. And then I don't know if I took it to this lifetime, where Dean physically, I think I did. And I think I just came away with, I was fortunate to be able to have him in my life, and to say that he loved me and I love him. And so everything transmuted, everything transmuted to be with me now, so that the past lives didn't matter. And that must be part of that 80% somewhere. I can't say why. Maybe it's consolidating. Maybe it's us. It's us continuing to see ourselves not as separate. That's where this is coming from. because we always talk about, we see ourselves as separate from spirit. That's what this is doing. It's allowing myself to accept that as part of me in a simultaneous universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think at least that's what just came to me at the moment. It's helpful though. It really is helpful, and it's answering some of those questions. Like, you didn't have to see yourself separate. That was the modus operandi of the day. 20 years ago it was okay. You discovered 20 or 30 years ago, you discovered past lives, and so you made that be important. Fast forward 30 or 40 years, it's not so important anymore because you're learning new things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we see ourselves in a new way. Cool.
Hmm.
And then there's there's a lot of me that's thinking, so Sophie, what are you going to do with yourself while you're in Alderson? You're going to sit around every day and make sure you're being a kind person, or you're going to live your life? Yeah, I think I'll live my life. I think I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and go with the flow, and you know don't get don't get crazy now thinking that you have to put yourself in a paper bag.
I was about to ask you, have you planned your next 70 years? Uh, I was about to ask.
um I mentioned, I don't know if I was talking to you. I think my next 70 year, it's a nutshell. My next 70 years is going to be a, I think I'm going to spend more time teaching, but it doesn't mean teaching anybody else. It might just be teaching myself, being conscious that, I'm more inclined to want to want to up the ante with teaching myself the things I need to know. I expect to travel. I expect to do more of, not again. I expect to do. Somebody's trying to call me. I don't know who it is, but I'm not taking the call. I don't even. It's a spam call, I think. Um, yeah, I think my life is gonna be a lot of what I do now. That includes um, some travel, and includes meeting new people, and I don't think it's going to be a lot different. I really don't. I really don't. Um I did write again to Toyota yesterday. I went to the library. I wrote them the first time, those three people in management, two in Texas here in the States and one in Japan. I wrote them on November 28th, telling them who I was and what I wanted to do in partnership with them. And then I sent them everybody a little handwritten New Year's card, just as a reminder that I was still here. I don't even know if these people are getting these letters, but I'm sending them. And then yesterday I went back to the library and I specifically sent them my artistic resume, my business, my business and manufacturing resume, because I said it's time that you know more about me. And then I specifically sent them my proposal saying that I wanted to paint. I could paint I would hand paint 3 cars in 3 months, and that I would spend time in Texas with them, in their personnel, so we could organize 3 different events. Uh, I told them I wanted $130,000 to paint the car, and that they would supply the car, but they also get the car back to do with whatever they want. And as long as, in the marketing and advertising of it, they said that I was the artist. And then I said it would be a nice bonus. No, that it would be nice if, they took care of my lodging and where I would stay and all that stuff. And then I said, I've been on the planet long enough to know that everybody in a partnership needs to feel like they got what they wanted. And so if they felt like I was being unfair, or they needed to make a comment on something, I was open to hear their points of view. Excuse me. And then as I was just about to give it all to the postman, the woman at the post office, I wrote the same letter to all three people, just changed the names and addresses. And I realized in the letters to the guys going in Texas, I referenced that I could be in Texas for 3 months. And I thought, oh, I can't send this to the guy in Japan. I was supposed to change that. So I held on to his letter. I have to retype it and reference, yes, I can be in Japan for 3 months. Not, you know, but other than that I got that done. So that felt good. I so I'm hoping, at the end of the letter I said I'm looking forward to hearing from you, especially especially whatever. I don't even remember what I especially said, but I included my phone number again. And unless while I was just talking to you, that phone number was from Texas, I haven't heard I haven't heard anything from anyone yet. But that's okay. It's my way of keeping the momentum going with my favorite
Yeah.
thing, which is to paint on metal. That it's I started thinking that there's a Toyota plant about 3 hours from here. And I thought about calling them and asking them for a tour in support of this project, right? But then there's a piece of me that said, Sophie, you don't have to push it uphill. You don't have to do this. You already got the thing going. You already put it out there. Now trust that the ethers are going to take it where it needs to go. So I backed off on calling for a tour. I don't know. At this moment, I'm 50-50 about leaving it like that and not calling that place. But part of me still wants to call them and say, I'm proposing a project in Texas and in Japan, and you're my closest connection to Toyota. So can I come for a tour? There's part of me that still wants to do that.
No, but this is a great idea. So if you ask
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
because yeah, for 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 people who are in, the world is looking for new ideas, and
Yeah.
you painting a car, and then for something, why would you like to paint a car, and why somebody would take that as a service or as advertisement, maybe, for
Oh,
some.
I told him in the letter that this is the part I didn't tell you why. The partnership I proposed is especially aimed towards senior citizens, because they have buying power because people are living longer and they have money to spend, and secondly, because people are creative and sometimes they let their dreams fall flat because people have dreams that aren't fulfilled. Those were my two reasons for doing scene. Because I'm a senior, I thought I'd come from that place. I have buying power, and in my head I am pursuing my dreams, but a lot of people my age think they're on the edge of, jumping into the coffin.
Yeah.
And they say, well, I'm sick because I'm old, or I'm sick and I can't do anything about it, or I'm sick, I never expected this, and so I'm just going to see what happens. And and so that's why.
So in this context, I tell something else to you,
Okay.
and it connects to whatever you want to do, part of
Uh-huh.
it. But I can feel that this is the next 70 years. This will take you next 70 years, and this is enough work for you. and
Yeah.
and the planet needs it. China has adopted one child formula, that right?
Yeah, that one child per family. It's been like that for a long time, right?
Yes, yes. So as a
Hmm.
result, what has happened is there are lot of the senior citizens are more than the younger generation. So, uh, like say 70% of their population is old now, seniors,
Yeah.
and younger people are less, which means they have less workers who can work for who really make it different for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are dependent on other countries, young population for their growth. They cannot do it on their own because of that policy itself.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So, but this is the that senior people can't work, can't contribute that much like younger people is an old theory.
Yes.
This is not the new seniors think this way. New seniors are more, as you say, they might be thinking, many of them might be thinking that their life is over and they cannot do anything, but still, a sizable percentage of this senior population, they
Hmm.
they are discovering their life,
Yeah.
but nothing is there for them as yet. The world still sees them as seniors, and their life is over.
Yeah.
The world too also sees like that. Like they do not give any chance to this senior category who are still very active and can
Yeah.
contribute in a different way than the younger generation maybe. But
Yeah. In a different way. You're right. With different filters. This town, the volunteers that I'm talking about in this town, most of them, probably 75%, the clubs and everything are run by older people.
yeah,
They're not, they're not run by the younger kids. We hope that the younger kids will step up. But when I say younger kids, you know, we're we're talking about people in their 40s. Uh, that's probably the youngest age, 40s or 50s. Those are the young ones.
yeah,
The presidents of these groups are in their 70s and 80s.
yeah,
So
yeah,
our this town runs on the volunteers who are not generally young people. And rather than rather than us gripe about it, we should see that as a positive sign, knowing that we're still capable, and we still are vibrant, and we want to be here, and we want to teach the younger kids, and we want to trade ideas with the younger people, because we don't know their ideas, and everybody needs to be open to the other guy, regardless of how many years you've spent on the planet.
yeah, yeah.
Very true. Very true.
So,
I t- I learn things all the time from Rafe and Rebecca, and if nothing else, other than Sophie, you need to lighten up, because they're 9 and 11, and they're full of joy and excitement. So, if for no reason other than that, I say, yeah, I learn a lot from them all the time. They're not worried about all the stuff, whether the kitchen floor gets cleaned or whether the stuff gets put away. They're not concerned about that. They're just concerned about having a good time.
yes. So, you can you have written to Japan maybe. Maybe you can write to a Chinese company as well. Maybe they are not producing any car, or anything, but they would be looking towards partnering with something like a vehicle, because they also need vehicle. I'm very surprised why China hasn't come up with something like a car kind of thing. I haven't heard about anything
I don't
Chinese.
I don't know, maybe they have. The only reason I concentrated on Toyota is because I drive a Toyota.
Yeah, yeah. No, no.
Yeah,
But you have now another reason
yeah,
to redefine the seniors' lives, who
that's
want
true.
to work, who are still vibrant, who can still make a lot of contribution. What about that? So who will do that? Uh, Through a car, painting a car, you are trying to make a difference because that is what you do.
Yeah,
Other people also, and also you have written to Toyota because you drive a Toyota. So whatever you own and whatever you have experienced, you want to contribute in that. But other people also, they have experience in something else, but they also want to contribute. In what way? May not
yeah,
be that significant, but where do they go? So maybe that should be your subject, redefining the elderly or the senior citizens, or you
yeah,
have to name them also. That mm, the some some name you have to come up with, so that it is self explanatory, you can say, or
okay,
anybody hears that out, knows that this is a segment of people who who have lot of experience, who are not for the regular workforce, but they can contribute towards innovation and quality of life on earth.
yeah.
Mm.
That,
Uh,
that's a good idea. I don't have to limit it to Toyota. Um,
yeah.
you in the course of what you just said, I thought of something that referenced what you said. What was it? Something came up that I was going to tell you. Wait a minute. Um, oh, this wasn't it, but maybe this will help it come out. One of the men in Texas is the diversity. He's the diversity and inclusivity officer. And so I thought, I consider myself diverse because I believe that as a senior, I'm still valuable. That's diverse and inclusive because I include myself in the rest of the world. So I figured he had a very his smile was very friendly. He has a dark skinned person, and so he looked like he could be African American. I'm not sure, but anyway, um, he looked very friendly. So in my head, I'm making a connection. My heart, I'm making. Oh, here's what I was going to tell you. This is you will really be interested in this. I heard from Margaret. Margaret Lyons is Ernest Ison's wife,
Oh,
and I heard from her, and she said, "Please give us another chance to be in connection with you. I think we have a lot to exchange, and please, excuse Ernest from all the things he didn't do, yada, yada, yada. Please forgive him, all this kind of stuff." And I thought, this is interesting. I haven't heard from her specifically. I met her once somehow online. And so this is how I answered her. I said, Margaret, I have no problem with working with you. Uh, I will explain the reason that nobody needs to be forgiven. There's no blame. Nobody needs to be forgiven. This is strictly cause and effect. For many months, I asked Ernest to fulfill his part of our spoken and written bargain, and he didn't. And so I just made a choice, a business choice to go on. Now I'm saying to you, I and that's how it is. That's not going to change because it's cause and effect. He didn't do what he said he was going to do. no blame involved. So I'm saying to you, Margaret, okay, let's see where your and my relationship goes, and we'll leave it at that. And so that's where we left it. It was a conversation that went on through Messenger, just like you and I, do Messenger. I haven't heard back from her since last week. I don't know what if she's got something she wants to propose. I still consider. Uh, I think I said this to her. He was a Villa Joy satellite.
Yeah.
I sent him a certificate, and he didn't send, I didn't get a partnership letter from him like he was supposed to write. At the last minute, he was trying to rush it over to me, and it was there were untied pieces of everything. So I think I said to her, I still consider, uh, your organization a Villa Joy satellite, but an inactive one.
Yeah.
And I just left it at that. So we'll see what happens.
This is very interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll just see, where she goes from here, and what she proposes, if she proposes that we do something together. The ball's in her court as far as I'm concerned. I still honor her as honor um, Ernest through sending him the certificate, because he can tear it up for that matter if he's not interested, or she can too. But as far as I took him off of the update Villa Joy list, so he's not on there. I would be willing to put her on there again if I get some feedback from her and I get some sense of what she's about. I don't know what, you know, I don't know. We'll just see what happens. You know, we'll just let it unfold.
Well, uh, about that,
So,
yeah.
so you were saying, so is the Chinese, is China um, putting their children out for adoption by other countries if a family has more than one child? Is that what you have to do?
No, no, no. Uh,
Oh,
China, China, as a national policy, they have adopted one child. There will not be more than one child per family. That has been their national policy
yeah,
since last more than 20 years.
yeah. So it's not even possible for a Chinese family to birth more than one child because they know they would be in trouble.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So,
okay.
what has happened is if there is just one child, there is another problem like many emotional issues because this child is very pampered and he or she doesn't have uh, doesn't understand what a sibling is and how to deal with them, so they kind of have become very selfish.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, so that is one part, but the workforce also has reduced because of this policy. So
Mm-hmm.
China was the most populated country, and because of that, to contain their population, they had taken this policy. But they
Mm.
didn't have this foresight that this will happen to them.
Yeah.
So, as a result of that, a lot of Chinese people, even in Japan, there are people who are very senior. Uh, because of their food habits, also they live longer. Sorry. So, while the younger generations are living longer, the the younger population also is becoming senior without having many younger generation. Can you understand? As you were saying, 70, 60 plus people are there, many. Slowly, 40 plus people are also there, many.
Yeah,
But the younger generation, like one child, that younger generation is still diminishing because there is, it at least it goes by one fourth. So first time, two parents means two citizens. It becomes half, and then it becomes one fourth. You can see.
right, right.
So the and out of that, suppose there are 100 crore, 125 crores as it is, 125 crores have now become 80 crores senior and just 40 crores younger people,
Yeah,
which is very, these people are utilizing the resources of the country,
yeah,
but they are not able to contribute,
yeah.
which hampers the economy in a big way. But
Sure.
it is none of their problem, none of their what you can say.
Don't
They
don't you think don't you think based on what you're saying that we are being asked to we the world hasn't been the world has not become globally connected by accident. We have needed in one way or the other, we've needed that to happen. And I've always thought on a bigger scale than a lot of people do. That's why Villa Joy has global satellites, because it's important to me to know something about somebody in India or somebody in England. It's important to me.
Yes,
So
yes,
when I wish I wish that I had thought about this when the mayor here was saying to me, "We don't have time to look at us having a sister city, Sophie. I'm all wrapped up," meaning him. I'm all wrapped up in our 4th of July celebration because that's where everybody comes to town and brings their money and brings their they come home and they visit and it becomes a bigger small town, and we love that. I wish I had been able to say to him, "Mayor, you know the fact that nobody here has worked, that one of the conversations in everybody's head from contractors to stores, we don't have people who want to work." One of the answers to that is, then let's bring people from other countries who want to work here. Let's train them if we need to train them and bring them here, because I'm guessing other countries don't have the same programs like welfare. We don't call it welfare anymore, but I don't know if, for instance, does India have a plan that supports you if you've caught COVID and you can't go back to work, or you're sitting at home, drawing governmental benefits? Here, the conversation is that we lack workers because people can stay at home and make more money through the government than they can make if they work. So it makes sense that people are staying home. That's one of the conversations about why contractors don't have helpers, why stores don't have clerks, because people make more money if they stay home. Okay, then let's bring people from other countries who don't have that benefit. Let's bring them here legally, train them, or bring the ones who are already trained from other countries, help them get their green cards and bring them here, and let's get get people help.
yeah.
Do you know, are you aware that that's the conversation in a lot of the US cities where we don't have people that are we don't have workers?
Okay, yeah.
Did you know that?
So I didn't know in this detail, but I knew that there is lack of workers in US, and also in Europe to some extent.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, uh, that
Do
is why Indians come back. You know, many of the Indians, they come back because they are not habituated to work for themselves. Like even for their daily lives, they are not habituated. Like cooking for themselves is not easy for many Indians. Uh,
okay,
while they will be okay to work for others, but uh, that is why many of the people who go for studies, they come back, they don't
okay,
stay. Nowadays
all
it
right,
is it's a bit different because there are so many systems of food. Nobody needs
yeah,
to cook anymore
yeah.
at their place. So
My
people are
my friend my friend Barbara, who is building her house, the electrical crew came the other day to put in all the electrical outlets and everything. The whole crew was from El Salvador, and they
yeah,
worked fast and they worked efficiently. So that was just the electrical crew. The main building crew is run by an American man from Alderson. His workers are all Latino, and they have a good reputation of working hard. A lot of the immigrants in the fields here, the farm workers, are Latino people. I so you can see, they worked quickly, they worked efficiently, they're a well-oiled machine. I don't know how long Robert has had these people working for him. I don't know if he went to Mexico and got these people and said, I need workers, I'll train you, I'll pay you well, come on. I don't know how he got his crew. All I know is he's working on 6 different houses at one time because there are so few contractors that show up and do what they say they're going to do.
oh, oh, yes,
So
yes,
so that's the way the world is. Maybe that's part of the way the world is going to finally understand that we need to work together, because we everybody, it's a benefit to everyone.
yes, yes, yeah,
So
yeah,
does does India have does if you're a poor person in India,
yeah.
does the government have any programs that can help you like they do here, or not?
No, no, no way, no way.
Way. I
Anybody,
didn't think I didn't think so. I didn't think so, but I just thought I better ask you.
yeah, yeah. So in India, there is no system. For even health, you have to have your own money.
Yeah,
And right now, I'm working on a project which kind of mm, pressurizes the government uh, to be accountable for the citizens' health uh, to some extent. Like
yeah.
in US and Europe, it is just 18% of out-of-pocket expenses, whereas in India it is 55%, which means
Wow.
all the time people are spending money on health, and that is how they are losing money. They are not able to create any capital for themselves, which is
Okay.
which is putting them into the back into poverty. So anybody, if they are spending 50% of their saving or more than that, then they are not creating any asset for themselves. So um, the government can do take care of that very well, because all the people are not falling sick at the same time.
Yeah.
But they have this lame argument, you can say. India is a populous country, so that is why they cannot take care of all the people. Uh, but that is not true. Uh, why are you then creating insurance policies, if you are not going to take care, not going to care for them? Then there should not be any money taken in insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So,
This is medical insurance policies. Medical.
yeah.
Okay.
So, medical insurance policy, and there are a
Yeah.
lot of other other insurance policies also. If you take India's population, then it come per head, it comes to very just 10 or 12 rupees per year.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is what the policy is, Indian government's policy is. But when actually somebody falls sick, then it takes lot of effort for that person to go and avail that insurance. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of creating some insurance thing, why not create the medical facilities as such so that the person who is seeking some health support can access it then and there, rather than making it roundabout way. You pay for insurance, then the go to hospital, you get yourself treated, and then claim the expense amount. Why? So, some there are times when simple things also don't click uh,
Yeah.
to people, which we consider to be very, very just ordinary or everyday thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen also in people's mind. So, similarly, maybe it is out of the way. So, coming back to that redefining the senior citizens' responsibility, it
Yeah.
is one of those things which everybody can see. Everybody realizes that people are not going to retirement even after retirement in India,
Yeah.
maybe in other countries also. 60 is the age for retirement, but at 60, nobody is old these days. So,
Right.
so why not create something else for them? So maybe you can take that. Many people also need to do something about that, but you can have that. You can own this. That
Yeah.
redefining the seniors is your criteria why you want to do this painting a car. Hmm.
I think that's why there are so many senior centers in the United States because seniors have to go somewhere. They retire and then a lot of them don't have anything to do. And so the senior center, somebody at the senior center said a very important thing the other day. They said a lot of people don't come to the senior center because they think it's a place for people that don't have any money. They think it's a welfare program, or they think it's a place to go and have lunch if you can't afford lunch at home. That's not it. Most of the people that come to the senior center here have plenty of money. They have homes. They come there for the camaraderie and the fellowship.
Yes.
A lot of people at the senior center have more than one home. There, I can't explain how the concept of you come to the senior center because you don't have anything, that that's wrong. And in many cases, if the people who didn't have anything started coming, I will bet you that the people who are already there would start feeling uncomfortable because, oh, that person's not very well dressed, or he looks like he's been drinking, or they're not looking for those. The seniors at this senior center are not looking to bring people in off the streets to sit there and have dinner with them. I mean, those of us who understand that you include everybody wouldn't care, but there are a lot of people sitting there that would not want that to happen.
Yeah.
But senior centers, I can understand where that comes from. I can understand where the thinking of, oh, it's a place where you can go if you can't afford a meal. I understand where that comes from because senior centers, senior citizens are just kind of, oh, you're old, forget it. Like my granddaughter said, you're 75 years old. I'm surprised you're still walking. It's that mentality.
Yes.
It's that mentality that goes along with the seniors, the senior programs in a lot of cases. and we need to alter that because we're going to be around, because a lot of seniors, yes, there are seniors leaving the planet because of cancer and things, but in a lot of cases it's because they didn't take care of themselves. They didn't learn how to eat. Not everybody, but there's a percentage of people who are dealing with cancer now because they don't know how to take care of themselves nutritionally.
Yeah.
don't they don't believe they could heal themselves, and so they run to the doctor every moment they can. Here in the US, every people generally have a card, a hospitalization or a medical card, because you've bought an insurance policy like you're talking about. Most people have one of those. Even if you are on a welfare program, you still have one of those, and it covers you if you need medical services. It may not cover 100% of everything. Chances are it doesn't cover 100%, but but we're fortunate here that we have lots of hospitals, lots of doctors. It is a big business. Pharmaceuticals and all that is a big business. And that's going to shift somewhere along the line too, probably. But yeah, so that's some of the mentality here.
Yeah, everywhere it is like that. But that because nobody has worked on that. So maybe uh, you and me, you, Subi, because you have already started, you can start working on that, redefining the 60 plus stage, and
I,
nobody
I
knows.
Yeah, I think in our own small way, even though we may not even recognize that, I think that's what's going on. The woman who's the president of the senior center is 85 years old, and she's out on the road. She is a mover and a shaker, and she's somewhere in Michigan. She just takes off and goes. She owns the bed and breakfast here, the big Victorian Inn. She's an example. Um, I think she was born in Michigan, but she was raised down here. She's um, she's another example of somebody who plans to be around, for a while, and she's vibrant and yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's a small town, it's any easier or any more difficult. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't think that's a yes or a no answer. Sometimes I think it is because it's a small town and you bump into everybody everywhere. you know you can't move in this town without bumping into the same people at the Dollar General or the Family Dollar or the grocery, not the grocery, well, even the grocery store that we have to go to 20 minutes away. You still bump into the same people because you just do. And but I don't know if that's any different in a big city, because you still have your own little traveling zone. You might live in a city with 500,000 people in it, but you don't travel over that 500,000. You don't travel through everyone, so maybe it's no different here.
Hmm.
We just don't have big freeways. That's probably the biggest difference. We just don't have big freeways and highways. We don't even have a stoplight. We have stop signs, but I recognized the other day we don't have a stop sign. There used to be one at one corner on Main Street, but they took it away when they made the bridge a walking bridge, and um, this took that bridge. You can't drive across it anymore. They took the light out at the end of the street, so now it's just the stop sign. I didn't even recognize that. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, so we don't even have a stop sign, a stop
Mhm.
light. We have stop signs. Yes.
Mhm. Fine then. Sophie.
Yeah.
Mm.
The mayor, the mayor couldn't go to the planning commission meeting the other day because there was a bad accident, car accident, out of town, but still in Alderson's mailing area. And he must double duty as part of the fire department or something, because why would the mayor have to go to an accident other than, he likes to know what's going on everywhere. the mayor gets $300 a month to be the mayor. So he has other jobs, he has other ways of getting income. But yeah, he makes $300 a month to be mayor, which is not very much.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, I'll find out eventually why what happened. And a big, a big car accident is a big deal around here because they don't happen very often. Unfortunately, somebody probably got hurt. Uh, it's raining. It's raining here really hard, and I think that's part of why our internet connection is been marginal. I've had trouble hearing you in some cases, and I
Oh,
think it's because of the weather.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I could also see dark. Your background also is very dark. So I was
Yeah.
wondering. I thought it was cold and snowing. That is why it is like that. Anyways.
No, I don't have. I'm in my bedroom. Last time I talked to you, I was downstairs in the dining room, and there's a lot of lights there. I'm in my bedroom now, and I don't have the overhead light on. I just moved closer to the table lamp next to my bed. That's why I you can see me better. But we're expecting a snow. We're expecting some kind of snow, but uh, we've had more rain than snow. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
So
Sophie. Then tomorrow we'll be at 8. We'll be meeting again.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Bye
All right.
bye.
I'll see ya. Sweet dreams. Love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.